Babin. Congressman, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Steve. Good to be with you.
It's great to have you, sir. Yeah, there's a lot of frustration on the part of Texas lawmakers like yourself because there is what you refer to as an invasion going on, and the federal government isn't doing anything.
Simply has fallen down on the job completely. A colleague of mine, Jim Banks, and I wrote an op-ed, and we also sent a letter to Secretary Mayorkas warning him that he needs to reverse course and start securing our border. Instead, it's getting worse and worse. And I think it's important for us to remember that under Biden and Mayorkas, his appointee, they have erased all of our immigration and border control. They've created an unending flood of illegal immigration. They're doubling down, tripling down. We had the worst month. 239,000 came across in May. We don't even have the numbers for June yet. And we had 53 dead illegal aliens who were left cruelly to die in a tractor trailer. So it's time for us, and no one has done any more than the state of Texas and Governor Abbott. I applaud what he's done. I really think, though, Steve, that until we get this into the courts, and Article 4, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution is going to be set and well known that states can protect and defend themselves and their citizens and their property. That's what needs to happen. We've got to declare this an official invasion. I think that courts are going to have to rule that this is true, that we have to be able to, states have to be able to stand up and defend themselves against a derelict president and a secretary of Homeland Security.
Right.
We're being inundated and overrun.
Sure.
We cannot tolerate it or sustain it.
And Congressman, so what your Governor Abbott has said is all the Texas National Guard soldiers and law enforcement, if you stop somebody in the state of Texas, the interior of the state, and they're in the country illegally, just drive them down to the southern border and release them at one of the bridges and just point south and say, okay, go home, because we don't want you here in Texas. But you know, it's going to wind up in the courts because the federal government says, obviously, has the responsibility to keep the nation safe, but you say they're not doing it. But Congressman, Secretary Mayorkas is just following orders. You know, you say he's derelict in his duties, but Joe Biden is telling him what to do. And he's saying, while Joe Biden says the border is closed, we know that it's wide open.
We know it's wide open. We've personally met with Secretary Mayorkas. He tells us he has operational control of the border. Ms. Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, said the 53 individuals who died in the tractor trailer came in because the border is closed.
Right.
It is the most absurd, ridiculous statement I've ever heard in my life. And quite frankly, I'm going to say that I really thank the governor for making this executive order, but we have to put these people into Mexico. We can't just drop them at the border because they're just going to either come back in, or they're going to continue to turn around and walk north. And we're seeing that Mayorkas, under Biden's authority, exactly as you said, we're spending millions and millions of dollars, Steve, directing these people, transporting these illegal aliens from the inundated, swamped border cities to the city of their choice, interior in the United States of America. Right. It is a joke. And then we find out that ICE is dismissing cases. There's 2 million case backlog, and they're completely dismissing. And by the end of his term, they will have dismissed millions. There's already 2 million cases, and they've dismissed between 60 and 80,000 cases in the last 2 months.
Well, let's see what happens. We know what the state of Texas is going to try next. Congressman Brian Babin of Texas, sir, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Steve.
You bet. Good luck.